Hello everybody, welcome back for video 2. And today's skill we're going to be talking about as it relates to putting is speed control, right? In order to have good speed control, we must learn the skill of having good touch. And good touch is the ability to have the ball hopefully slowing down as it's approaching the hole, and if it doesn't go into the hole, coming to a stop shortly after, right? And having good feel, right? Feel is produced by our dynamics. Having good feel is what's going to allow us to have good speed control and have good touch. Okay, I have one of my favorite training aids here that I actually made myself with a tube from Home Depot. And as you see, white's going to be where the golf ball is on the ground. And then my goal when I'm using this training aid is to match the backstroke length with the follow through length, right? Your shorter putts, medium, and you start to get into your longer putts with the outer colors, right? So I'll make the putter move from blue to blue, white to white, black to black, and yellow to yellow, right? So having a equal backswing and an equal follow through length will help you with your speed control as well as other factors, the speed at which the putter is moving, any acceleration or deceleration, and the actual time that it takes for you to make your backstroke, the time for it that it takes the putter to get to impact, and then the follow through time. Those are all factors that are going to help you control your speed better. So we'll dive into those a little bit more. So get creative, make yourself one of these however you do it, markers or tape like this. Find your center point, and then for mine, the blues are 7 inches, the white is 9 inches from the center, 11 and 13, just a baseline, right? Give yourself a good visual and something on the ground that you can practice with to help control your movements. You might find something, you might find that you don't follow through enough, right? And that could help your speed alone. All right, we're going to take a look at one of the devices I use to measure the putting stroke, and this is the Capto software. This is one of the strokes I made a while back. We're going to shift our attention to the tempo page, and we are going to just take a look at what they call optimal in terms of the time. The total time of the stroke is 1.1 seconds. And if you notice the ratio here, the backswing in terms of time is twice as long as the downswing time. And that's the time to impact. Okay. And so what we're going to find out here is that just about with all things being equal, right, no matter what length putt you have, the stroke length will change, but this timing should be about the same, right? And when the timing is the same at different stroke lengths, you get different amounts of energy getting put into the golf ball, which allows it to travel different distances.
Here's a great way to understand timing as it relates to different backstroke lengths and different distances that the ball will travel. Okay. Now we know that the time it takes the putter to start on the downswing to impact is 0.35 seconds or in that neighborhood. So we're going to use a good analogy. I'm going to take you to the end of a race, and as you see here, we have a photo finish, meaning both putters connected with the finish line at the same time. If we rewind 0.35 seconds, we're going to see that the black putter compared to the silver putter traveled from a greater distance. He was a little bit farther behind heading into the finish line. But we know that they're going to reach the finish line at the same amount of time, so the black putter has to travel faster to catch up. Right? It's not over accelerating, it's just traveling at a faster constant speed. So they both hit the finish line at the same time. So if we keep our timing the same and make different length strokes,
We'll develop a tremendous amount of feel, which will help us with our distance control. All right, so what we're going to do now is a little bit of a drill, a dynamic drill with the chopsticks that I had you make in the first video. 2 alignment rods or 2 golf clubs with a rubber band about 1 foot down. We're going to cross the sticks. We're going to place the sticks under our armpits. We're going to get our forearms under the sticks with our wrists and our hands inside of the sticks. Okay, and then what we're going to do from there is we're going to have some audio helping us in terms of the timing, but also where the speed and acceleration is. A lot of people go back too slow and hit the ball, right? And some players can get pretty good at that, but overall, I think it's a way better way to putt if we can learn the proper speeds and accelerations. All right, now Capto has a pretty cool mode where they have wave sound, right? And so you can hear there's not a lot of increase in sound in the waves, so that's telling you there's not a whole lot of acceleration. So we're going to practice making some different stroke lengths, right, to the beat of this wave. Okay, so I'm going to let that play a couple times, so while you're listening, you can use that same motion in the same time and follow along with the sound. Now I understand that noise gets a little bit annoying, but I think that's a great way to hear speed and acceleration. Now, my coach David Orr really nails it when he talks about how our movements are influenced by our thoughts and by our belief systems. So sometimes just incorporating a new concept or just learning what's supposed to happen in an ideal world, it really helps us in how we move, right? So the next step for speed control would be to learn about loft and to make sure that you're delivering the putter with the proper amount of loft to ensure a good roll on the golf ball, right? Now, loft is the angle of the club face, right? And with our putter, we have the least amount of loft out of any clubs in our bag, right? My putter's set at 2 degrees up, right? It's pointed 2 degrees up, right? Now, in a perfect world, when I strike the ball, I'll maintain that same loft, right? And you notice when I do that, I maintain a vertical shaft angle, right? If I started adding loft through the hit, right, the ball would come up short. If I come through with not enough loft, it's going to drive the ball into the turf and it's going to produce a poor roll, and it would make it really hard to control distance. So this is a new training aid that I purchased recently, and I really like the visual it gives along this with the stick we created in this video, right? We can see this black line here represents the shaft angle at setup and at impact, right? Now, if we just focus on these magenta lines right here, that correlates with my blue lines on the club, right? If I match the shaft angle on both sides, it ensures an equal stroke and proper loft at impact. If we take a look and we incorporate some of our technique work with our home plate, right? The goal is to maintain home plate the entire time. I will lose home plate if either one of my arms shortens or lengthens, if my wrists are used, right? And in some cases, if my shoulder participates. So if I keep home plate intact, right, and generate the speed from my torso, that shaft matches right up with the magenta line. And through impact, it comes right through at the neutral shaft angle. Right? If I start losing home plate in any direction, we can see how much that's going to influence the loft, which will in turn make it a lot harder to control your speed. All right, so in summary, we went over a lot today, but speed control, right? It's based on our movements, it's based on our loft, and it's based on having good timing and tempo. So get a little practice in, and I'll see you guys next week.